The cliche is that electric vehicles are great if you're in the city, but not so good in rural areas like this. We decided to put that to the test, so I've come to the Teviot Electric Car Club in Hawick, where Andy Maybury is one of the founding members. Andy, you're going to launch us on our journey in this BMW i3. My first big question, the question I'm sure everyone asks, what's the range of this? How far can it go?
Okay, so we say to our members 150 miles. Some members, depending how heavy their right foot is, get significantly more than that.
So that's great for day-to-day use. We are, of course, crossing the south of Scotland coast to coast. It's a journey of 200 odd miles, so we will need to charge up at some point. Talk me through how that happens, how you charge this vehicle.
So when you come back and park, unclip that and plug it into the car.
So a pretty simple process. It will be a bit different at other charge points which aren't dedicated to this car, I'm sure.
That's right, and you will need to use a card for some of them.
When you founded this car club in 2019, as I've already mentioned, the cliche was that electric vehicles were great for people in urban areas, not so good in rural areas. Is that still the case, or have things changed?
No, absolutely not. And I would argue that in rural areas, journey distances are relatively short. 35 miles is typical for a round trip in the borders here. But with the range of these vehicles, you can get up to Edinburgh and back, or Carlisle and back, without needing to top up at all.
And with that, in this noticeably silent car, we were off. It would have made sense to head straight west from Hawick, but then we couldn't have said that we'd crossed the entire south of Scotland, coast to coast, in an electric vehicle. So instead, we're heading to Eyemouth. One of Scotland's big new offshore wind farms is being built just beyond the horizon, expected to supply enough low-carbon energy for almost 400,000 homes. Once finished, this harbour development will form its operations and maintenance hub, creating around 50 jobs.
In terms of sustaining the local economy, apart from just the use of the boats and so on here, the lease is over 2 decades, so in terms of training opportunities and employment for local young people, it's something else to keep them in the town, and it should be good high-skilled jobs.
How important is sustainability to the Eyemouth Harbour Trust?
It's a key part of the harbour's operations. I mean, the trust was established in the 18th century, so it's always taken a very long view of what keeps the harbour going. We'll keep it going in the future, and we'll provide employment and support people in the town. So I suppose over the centuries it's already transitioned from sail through steam, now with diesel, and in coming years there'll be new fuels coming in, hydrogen, electric power boats and so on. So we've had 2 centuries of change already, so we're just going to keep on that path.
As we waved goodbye to the coast, the real journey began. I've got about 68 miles of charge left, which should be okay to get us to Langham, where we're staying over, which is about 50 miles away. But I do have a little bit of range anxiety, and I'd like to wake up tomorrow with a full tank. So I'm checking the Charge Place Scotland app, which shows us nearby charging points. We're not exactly spoiled for choice in this area. Langham, where we're staying, doesn't have any charge points, although I am told they are in the process of installing some. But for us tonight, it looks like a detour to Newcastleton, where we have to hope that the one charging station there is free. We made it with about 25 miles to spare, so not too much of a panic, and I'm about to charge an electric car up for the first time. So what could possibly go wrong? After finally figuring out how to get it working, we then faced around 3 hours of charging time. A long wait for dinner, but a significantly reduced carbon footprint. Greg Hoare, ITV News.